Coming to you live from Alola's Battle Royale Dome, it's the one, the only P.U.C.L Battlecast.
And welcome to the 13th episode of P.U.C.L Battlecast, the show where we talk mostly competitive Pokemon, the show where we condense all of that good information down your mouth holes or ear holes, and we tell you all about what's going on in the meta that we chose for this month. And so, as always, welcome to the show. I'm Trainer Thatch, your host, and I've of course got here today both Scrawn and Seth Vilo.
It is a pleasure.
It is a honor.
Oh,
wow! And we're just gonna break down some. I love this show because it's way more casual than the main show. We can be far more relaxed, mostly because it's a weeknight, and I'm perfectly fine. It's being far more relaxed. But this is the beginning of the show, and we just want to update you guys on some major moves that are happening in different metas. Mostly, it looks like RU. We're going to be talking a lot about RU.
A lot of RU changes.
A lot of big RU changes, which is really scary, honestly. But then we're going to break into the main topic today, which is we're going to be talking about that Zygarde ban in OU. And then, of course, we'll end the day with probably an OU team to break down for you and just give you guys a little taste of what you could be working on while the UUTC is underway.
We lost Toothpaste Snake.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, my beautiful.
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. So, but let's open up with some of this news. A lot of shifts happened because for those of you unaware, in Smogon we typically get shifts once every 3 months due to usage statistics, and this is mostly not to Ubers. Bans to Ubers are completely different, but this is all based on usage. And there's a lot of big moves to RU. Like RU's definitely changing. I can't believe it. So. I'm just going to list them all off, and then we can go in and just reminisce and be sad.
Are you ready?
Haha!
So, Stakataka was moved from UU to RU. First of all, I'm amazed Stakataka was in UU. But Stakataka is a good mon.
Stakataka is great, and the person who showed me how great it is in this call right now.
No, Stakataka has always been great. Like, Trick Room Stakataka has been solid.
Oh, totally.
What's really big, though, in my opinion, is Gligar moving from RU to UU. So no more Gligar in UU, or in RU, which is pretty big. I understand why, because Gligar is a really, really good budget Gliscor.
Right.
And oddly enough, Gliscor just recently moved up out of UU
exactly.
to OU. So it fills the void.
Well, that's probably why the usage went up.
It's always been in that threshold, because it's been in OU before. And it's fallen, and it's kind of gone up, and then fallen, then gone up again.
Gligar's just always... not Gligar, but Gliscor has always kind of been like that. It's one of those mons that it comes in and out of popularity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to keep doing that. I mean, until Lando gets banned. Then once Lando gets banned, if ever, which probably will never happen.
Probably never. That would require a come-to-terms moment for hundreds of... Smogon admins who have grown so used to having Landorus in their meta that they don't want to change it at this point.
If I feel like giving a rant about that later on, I will go ahead and maybe just like tack on an extra 5 minutes to the show. But
conveniently, we're in the meta to do it.
Like I understand why they don't want to do it, because they're just like, well, it's going to shake up the meta. You're going to lose Landorus, and then Garchomp and Mega Mawile can just destroy the tier where they can two-shot everything. And it's just like, yeah, but you want to know something about Mega Mawile and Garchomp? Like, let me tell you something. You guys ready for this? I'm going to blow your mind.
Okay.
Both of those Pokemon
tell me
used to be in the Uber tier.
How dare you?
Oh my god.
It's like when you take apart like one piece of something that's kind of holding up this house of cards, you're going to see a lot of bans. I think that's just something that Smogon can't handle, the amount of bans that'll happen, because you'll see something like Landorus leave, and then you'll have to ban Garchomp and Mega Mawile probably. At least one of them. You'll have to ban one of them.
And when minimum. We're in the year that there's going to be the new game coming out, it's
exactly
worth the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see that happen. I think there's many other problems in that tier as well. I mean, once that happens, they're going to be like, well, Greninja's doing really well. I'm like, well, you remember when Greninja was Uber? And then you're going to... I think you're going to see a lot of these... I think if Lando was removed, you see a lot of Pokemon that used to be classified in the Uber tier as coming up for Suspect in OU. And my argument is, yeah, ban them to Ubers. I don't care. And maybe then we can play with cool things like Gliscor, and maybe one day Electivire can be good again.
Is that all you want for Electivire to be good again?
Electivire got killed in Platinum version when Team Preview became a thing. That's where Electivire died. That's where
This
Electivire
is true. Because it's like, oh, I'll bring something with the ground attack.
Because it used to really just... Well, it's not that so much, but the whole reason they run Electivire back in the day was that you would bring something like Gyarados, something that your opponent like really wanted the Thunderbolt, and you'd switch that in, and because Team Preview didn't exist, your opponent doesn't know you have an Electivire in the back. And so you bait Thunderbolt, you switch into Electivire, you get your Motor Drive, so your +1 speed is an Electivire. And I think Electivire's got like base 95 speed.
Correct.
And +1 on base 95 is pretty disgusting. Not to mention, Electivire can hit, I think, every type. It can hit 15 out of the 18 types super effectively with one moveset.
I believe that's true, yeah.
And so that's pretty big, and I think it hits neutrally on the others. So that's just something to think about. Like, I mean, the times change. I mean, I'm okay with Electivire being relegated to, I think it's in PU now, and it's sad, but I'll live with it.
Yeah, I think you can still kind of try to bait those electric moves out, but it's definitely not a very popular type.
I don't think you'll see it at high level play ever.
No.
Right.
And that's
Never
the big
again.
thing. I think if you saw an Electivire in the back and you were somewhere at like 1500 on the ladder, first of all, congratulations to the person who got there. But I think if you were at 1500 on the ladder and you saw your opponent had an Electivire, you'd be like, okay, so I have to be careful using Volt Switch. And that's like pretty much what your thought would be. But then you'd be like, it's base 95 speed. It's not going to do anything to me. But let's move on. There's so many more shifts to RU and UU.
Yeah.
Right.
We
And
lost
the one
Mega
I'm most-
Steelix. You lose Doublade.
Yep.
You're losing Chestnut. But you're getting that
no.
Metagross. You're getting that Metagross.
Getting that Metagross.
I don't know. I'm more disappointed by the things you lose.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about Metagross being in RU, but I think all of those Pokemon that we've talked about moving away from RU were definitely staples.
Yeah, I remember using all of them when we did RU as the Battlecast
Yeah.
a few months ago.
I mean, that's true because Mega Steelix was a pretty big Mega in that tier. I think now you're just going to see Mega Blastoise everywhere.
And possibly Metagross just fill the void that Steelix left.
Yeah,
They're similar.
well, maybe Doublade. I don't know. Yeah.
Doublade was incredible in before when it was.
Oh, yeah.
In one tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
that it's in the
that's the
same meta as
problem.
Hydreigon, it's not going to do as good.
No. No.
Do you guys know what tier Cresselia's in right now?
It's an OU
Gross?
probably. It's either an
Like,
OU or UU.
Absolutely not.
Because
Absolutely not.
there was a point when Cresselia and Doublade overlapped in the RU tier, and it was a crazy combo. But then they both got banned from it at the same time. So I'm surprised to see Doublade back. And I think
Cresselia
it's
is-
really
I'm not.
exciting.
RU.
Is it RU? I'm
Absolutely,
a liar. I'm a liar.
Ooh, that means we can bring it back.
No, you
Yeah.
can't because Deblade's not in RU anymore. That's the problem.
Oh,
I mean, you could in
You
UU
could have
if
done it.
you're insane.
we'll probably see it come back at some point.
Maybe.
I mean, at a certain point, whenever you're like voting on these bans and stuff, you just want to see some changes.
yeah.
Well, so
And-
these typically aren't bans. Like what we're talking
No,
about,
they're
these shifts
use.
aren't bans. These are just usage moves. Because the only bans that typically happen anymore are typically in the OU tier. You will get some lower tier ban like suspect tests, but it doesn't happen as often. I think as OU, and it happens in Little Cup all the time because we need the 80th suspect test of Diglett, and I mean this is coming from a Little Cup player, right? Like
The only thing we need to test is if it has some feet.
Diglett, yeah, just pull it out of the ground.
Why has nobody researched this yet?
Why has nobody just tried to pick it up, right? And so it's fine. No worries. No logic.
Right.
I'm more
Speaking of
impressed that it
things-
fills in the hole behind it. You know, as it
Yeah.
like moves through the dirt, it fills in the hole behind it. Like it's perfect. How do you do that?
Really weird feat.
Yeah. Also, interestingly, Hoopa Unbound somehow moves from OU to UU. What happened? What universe are we living in right now? Like,
Well, praise the UU gods because it's already been relegated to UUBL, so it will never see the light of UU again.
yeah, it can't like. Well, like, it's Hoopa Unbound. Like, I can understand the usage going down because it's Hoopa Unbound and it doesn't have the best speed stat, but it's still Hoopa Unbound. Like,
yeah, it smashes things, but it's also very easily countered by things.
Yeah, well, it's like you just sneeze a U-turn at it and it's dead. But it's Hoopa Unbound. Like, it's still got, like, with choice specs you can hit a 600 attack stat. Like, it's absurd.
Bonkers.
It's whatever. It's whatever. It's fine. I don't want to live in this world anymore. It's fine.
I don't want to live on this world. I think that'd be a good one with like a sticky web strat.
Oh yeah, like Hoopa Unbound with sticky webs is disgustingly good.
Yeah.
Right. So like, what would you use? Like Shuckle or like Masquerine or something?
Ribombee.
Ribombee and Shuckle are the most reliable of sticky web setters in OU because that's the only place Hoopa can exist right now. They're the most reliable addition to like Araquanid if you want. But Ribombee
Galvantula's still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Basically everything that hits super hard that's, able to.
Yeah. All right. So
capitalize on the speed stat. Yeah.
I think that's where we'll just wrap this intro up and we'll take a short break, guys, and we'll kick it on over to our talk about Zygarde bans. And we'll catch you on the flip-flop. I don't have a segue for this.
Repel Incorporated is looking for adventurous, brave, and talented individuals to join our team here at our Viridian City location. We here at Repel Incorporated produce the #1 product in Pokemon repellent today. In order to create our high-quality product, we need trainers like you to venture forth into the depths of Viridian Forest and procure vital elements of the Repel formula, including Vespiquen saliva, Beedrill stingers, and Venomoth powder. Required skills of the position include at least 3 badges and a Pokemon team, preferably at least 1 fire type. Psychic trainers need not apply. Applicants must also be willing to sign a waiver, stating they do not hold the company responsible for any injury or fatalities, for that matter, received in the line of duty. So come on and join our exciting team.
And welcome back. This is this part where we're going to be talking to you guys about our main thoughts on the recent Zygarde ban. 50%. The other one's already banned, not the Doggo. Is Zygarde Doggo in UU? Where's Zygarde Doggo?
RU.
RU, I believe that. It's Zygarde Doggo.
It is
he a fluffy puppy.
As a point of reference, it has half the HP stat, but with its other stats and everything, it has far less than half the defensive potential of regular Zygarde.
I hope that we see a bump up in usage of the Zygarde dog.
You will.
Now that he's gone. We will, because there's going to be people that are trying to like grasp onto the last of Zygarde.
I don't adjust to change well.
That one. And you're definitely going to get people to do that. But okay, so like as much as I don't agree with this ban, and I think most of us don't agree with this ban, it feels like they stuffed the ballot box a little bit, but we can talk about that some other time. And I don't know. They banned Zygarde. Zygarde wasn't the problem entirely, minus like the sub-glare set, which kind of ruins life. But the sub-glare set is mostly like it just stalled, and I can understand why they didn't like it from like a fun standpoint. But if they're worried about fun standpoint, why is Lando still around? And that's my biggest concern. It seems very somewhat hypocritical. And with Zygarde being gone, though, we lost a really bulky Mon. And I don't think we're going to see that vacuum filled precisely. I think we're just going to see... the meta still hasn't settled, really. And I don't know that there's good replacements for Zygarde. Maybe Gliscor, kind of.
Yeah, since it's just moved up as well, people are going to be trying that out a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gliscor, maybe. I don't think it's going to be a 1-to-1 replacement with Gliscor.
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly, you can't get a 1-to-1 replacement with Zygarde because you're not going to get a Mon that gets Glare, Coil, Dragon Dance, and ground typing and those bulky stats that Zygarde had.
from what I've been seeing just in my testing and in my just general practicing for UUTC and whatnot, the biggest change that I've seen is a spike in things that are otherwise immune to ground. The biggest ones are going to be Celesteela and Rotom Wash are the two biggest ones, because now they actually have a ground immunity. Because before they were okay.
1,000 Arrows, man.
Yeah, that was it.
1,000 Arrows. If you think about it, actually, in retrospect, Zygarde wasn't that great in Gen 6 OU.
No.
And it literally 1,000 Arrows.
Yeah, that's
like
the only
1,000
thing
Arrows is what made it scary, and it is honestly the reason for the ban, which is surprising to me, because then we should get rid of Greninja.
Just to clarify for some listeners real quick, 1,000 Arrows is a ground type move that can hit stuff that resists ground.
Correct.
That is not affected by
If they're listening to this show, they should already know it. They're listening to the Battlecast.
It's a good recap.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna see a replacement. I think we're gonna see things just kind of fill in that weren't as usable before. Like you said, Rotom's gonna make a comeback. We're gonna see a few flying types maybe come back. Maybe not so much because Coco's still around.
Mm-hmm. And with Rotom spiking.
I would love to see Coco just disappear. If Coco got banned, that would be interesting. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if Coco got banned.
Yeah.
Seth and I were talking before the show. Mega Charizard X, maybe we'll see some more usage.
Yeah.
Because we
probably
need a better Dragon Dancer now that Zygarde's down.
And
that's actually not a bad choice.
That's a real sleeper that I'm seeing. I think could have a lot of potential. The biggest thing I think that came from the ban, just as far as what's going to happen with usage, is that Heatran is the god of the tier. Let alone Lando. Yeah, Lando's okay, but you can pretty much 50-50 it's going to be Scarf. Heatran, you have a lot more unpredictability, and it's just a nuclear bomb.
Well, especially with the Z moves.
Exactly.
It gets so many Z move options.
Yeah, and with Heatran comes Bulu, which creates the most solid core of two Mons in the tier. So
I hope we see a bump in
huge
usage of Bulu.
Yeah.
If anything good can come of this ban, it's Bulu getting some more love.
It's getting a lot, especially because it flat counters Ash Greninja completely, which is number 3 in usage.
I would love to see Bulu get a fairy type move, like a physical one. But I think the problem with that is I think if we see Bulu ever get play rough, Bulu just goes to Ubers.
I don't think so. I don't think it would use it. Yeah, it gets stabbed, but what switches into Bulu? Ferrothorn, Celesteela, all things that resist Fairy anyway.
Well, wait till Gen 8 and we get a Pokemon that's just I switch into Bulu, and it's just well, I don't like play rough. It's it's some grass dark type mon that's actually good.
Yeah, right. You're funny.
Look at you, Shiftry.
You're hilarious. Cacturn on a sand team, baby.
Yeah, there we go.
It's like that, I saw a meme the other day where it was which of these three knows Ice Punch?
Yes.
It's a Ghastly, a Wooper, and a Kyurem Black.
Which of these three does not?
Yeah, right. And it's the Kyurem Black because it doesn't get Ice Punch, but Ghastly and Wooper can learn it.
Well,
and they don't have arms.
Kyurem himself has tiny little chicken arms. He's like T-Rex. He's got the T-Rex arms, so it makes sense, right?
Oh,
totally.
Okay.
Yeah. Flat,
and Ghastly just punches things with its body, and so does Wooper. I think there was actually
I've seen that
it's
anime.
either in the manga or in the anime where you see Wooper use Ice Punch.
Yeah.
And they actually show it uses its tail or something.
I want to see it grow a fist.
It does. It evolves.
Punch away the fist.
Evolves into Quagsire.
Quagsire. All right. But yeah, OU, I don't see OU really changing up that much. The usage stats recently when Zygarde was in the meta back in December popped up. Which ones are these? Are the 1825? No, these are the 15 something, not the 15, the 16 something usage stats, right?
1695. That's what I kind of refer to as the most
I think that's pretty
taste
standard.
Of the tier.
I think that's if you want it, I think that's where the good players are.
I would go to 1695 to see usage and 1825 to see EVs. That's my opinion.
No, you're exactly right. So, looking here, we've got in the first slot we've got Lando with 40%, which is unsurprising.
I'm shocked.
It's gone down a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. It used to be 48. Magearna at 25, which makes I'm unsurprised yet again.
Another thing Charizard X eats.
Yeah, Magearna's been doing really well as of late, and that's just because Magearna gets so many sets and it's so bulky.
And it stops Ash Greninja, which is at number 3.
Which is at number 3 at 20%. And then just under that at a slightly lower 20%, we have Heatran. Mm-hmm. Then you have Zygarde in 5. Tapu Koko. I'm unsurprised by literally all of these. None of these are surprising to me.
I hate all of it.
Yeah, none of this is surprising to me. So there's like 17.3% with Koko, 16.6% with the Kartana in 7th. Tornadus Therian at 15.1 and 8th. Number 9 is Ferrothorn with 14.8. And then Tapu Lele in 10th with 13.3. I'm literally unsurprised. Like, I think maybe the most surprising one to me is possibly Ferrothorn. Like, maybe I expected Ferrothorn to be like in top 15 and not top 10. But outside of that, I think all of this is very reasonable. You see a lot of steel here, which I think is really saying something to this new kind of like fairy meta we've gone into. And if you look at this, you're absolutely right, by the way, Seth. Like Charizard X kind of eats almost all of this.
It does. Yeah, it really does. If Zygarde gone and it can, it can kind of take advantage of ground immunity for a turn.
Yeah. It really does eat a lot of this. Like, it doesn't eat Heatran unless you run the EQ set.
Which is what you would do.
Yeah, which is what you...
Flare Blitz EQ Roost.
Like, Ferrothorn goes down, Kartana goes down, Koko probably actually goes down if you run enough special defense investment or HP investment. Like, it's probably not even that much. It's probably
like
slight
its
investment.
Move anyway.
Yeah,
and you're
you resist
fairy.
Anyway. And then, of course, you've got... I mean, Lele is probably somewhat problematic.
Flare Blitz.
But,
drop it.
Well, that's true, but I think Lele and Psychic Terrain is still pretty scary.
Yeah. You can't take it, but if you're faster than it, if you've already gone and you have base 100 and it has base 95.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you could outspeed a Lele. You could outspeed a Lele, even without DD. Mm-hmm. And that's really big. So, I mean, that's something to really look into. I think you're absolutely right. That Mega Charizard X is probably the big sleeper here. Yeah. I think if you want to build a team, Mega Charizard X is the way to go right now, kids.
That's what I've been building. Had I seen it before UTC, that's what would be on there.
Yeah. Mega Charizard X, fam. Just go and play.
Says the stall player.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not your style at all, by the way. Yeah.
I will remind you that one of its best sets was Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah. I think Dragon Dance, Earthquake, Flare Blitz is definitely the way to go. Like, I think Dragon Claw is honestly the option here. Like, you can switch that out for something else if you really want to.
I personally
I would go
Roost.
Flare Blitz EQ.
Call me Stolly, but you're gonna switch
I agree with you
a lot.
I agree with you for the Roost. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. And you're not immune to Earth Power anymore, so you gotta be watching.
I think the Roost is a good option.
Flare Blitz too.
I'm a big fan of that set.
Go ahead.
I would do some calcs. I would just do some calcs for like Koko Thunderbolt or something, or Lele Psychic. See if there's a way to optimize those EVs. Mm-hmm. Just because you can have a really weird spread with like maybe like 40 special defense or something.
Mm-hmm. Survive against like one or two attacks.
Yeah, exactly. Where it just lets you like maybe you should survive like Choice Specs Lele Psychic or something. Mm-hmm. And that maybe could be pretty big. I don't want to make this the Charizard X episode. But
we can make it the Reuniclus episode.
That's a team we should talk about. That's a team we should talk about in the team builder, by the way. So Seth has been working on Reuniclus. That's why we did that on the last. Well, not by the time you hear this, but the episode that we did together the last time we were Reuniclus, and because Scrawn and Seth have both fallen in love with this mon.
So cute.
I know you have an OU team with it on it, so we could probably pull that out and throw it on the Battlecast team builder.
I've got a dozen.
We'll just pick one. I don't know what else would really. I'm really still surprised by that Hoopa Unbound move.
Yeah.
Tangrowth. Tangrowth was one of the good walls against Zygarde. So with
we'll probably see that go down.
How do you think it's going to fare?
Yeah, I could totally see Tangrowth usage go down. I could see Ferrothorn usage go down maybe a little bit.
Absolutely, with Heatran Rise.
Mm-hmm. I think you'll see Ferrothorn usage go down a little bit. Maybe even Kartana. I think Kartana's just too good. It's really hard to keep Kartana down.
Yeah, and it's versatile. It doesn't really. Its typing is only based. Like, it's the only important
and if
thing
you
about
run if you run the Choice Scarf set right now, you get the Leaf Blade on the Ash Greninja. It's literally just this is a meta revolving around Ash Greninja. I'm so upset that thing exists.
Yeah, honestly though, that's kind of something I was going to point out is that a lot of the stuff at the top is because of Ash Greninja as well. That's kind of the next big ugly monster that's there. Especially because you don't know what it is.
That should really be the next suspect, in my opinion.
I agree.
But thankfully, we don't run Smogon.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yep.
Get rid of Ash. Get rid of Ash.
Or both Greninjas.
Just Greninja. Just get rid of Greninja.
I like Protean. It has a lot of. It contributes a lot with that ability because you can kind of predict it and stuff.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the real big problem, is that you can't predict Protean Greninja. That's why it got banned the first time.
Suddenly Z-Dig out of the blue.
Z-Dig.
It's a set because Toxapex exists.
Yeah. Well, he gets extra sensory. Why would you do Dig?
Because it's stronger.
I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Yeah, a lot of people run Calm Toxapex, so it's actually better against the special.
Toxapex is calm right now to stop Ash Greninja.
I don't know how true. What's the special defense to special attack and attack the defense ratio there? Like if you're gonna already commit a Z crystal to that slot, right? Why not just commit Psyche MZ instead of Ground DMZ?
Because that hits more than one thing. If you're running physical Greninja, there's not really good physical water moves.
I think the problem is you're running physical Greninja, so there's
it exists. Like Gunk Shot.
It's pretty good. Low kick, Gunk Shot, and Dig as well.
Slash, maybe.
I don't like this game anymore.
And its attacking stats are 8 points apart. That's it.
I'm just mad that this exists and we're having this conversation.
I hate it too. I hate the fraud. Even in TCG,
I'm really frustrated.
Jushiro.
I'm really frustrated that we're having this conversation right now. Like there's so many things wrong with this conversation we're having. One, Zygarde got banned, and Lando still exists in the tier, as well as Greninja. Greninja still exists in the tier. I'm just blown away by that. That both those mons are still in the tier, but Zygarde's they're just you know what? Zygarde's the Zygarde. He's the big thing. I mean, I do understand the Subglare set. I do understand.
Yeah,
but at the same time, have you seen? Too. Yeah, but I think that's true of a lot of Pokemon in general. Rest Talk isn't just a Zygarde thing.
It kind of was because it only had to run one offensive move.
That's true. Thousand Arrows is a pretty big move. And I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
I could see it. And the other notable thing is, if I'm correct, this is the first suspect test for OU anyway that had a direct link to the information page and sign up page from Showdown itself. So
that's nice.
Anybody could really kind of get in, find out the requirements, and vote on it, which is why it was, I want to say, double or triple the normal amount of people that voted for this Zygarde ban because they saw the notification and just in their general laddering and went for it.
It sounds like the 28 midterms.
You still have to do a lot of games in order to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me thinks that there were a lot of educated and informed decisions made, but also part of me thinks that the forums can be kind of cliquey on Smogon, and there is this sort of mob bloodlust to get rid of Toothpaste Snack.
I think a lot of it was also just let's change something. Because we haven't had a ban in a year or some really long time, and a lot of people just wanted something to change.
Yeah. That is really interesting. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't make this change personally, but also this really sounds like the 2018 midterms. You need to stop. And record voter turnout.
It's
we
crazy.
Just wanted to see change.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Snake, you cannot believe it. I don't know.
It's getting to my Pokemans now, and I'm really upset. I feel this is the first time we've had a conversation that I feel worse afterwards.
It was the best suspect test ever. Everyone's saying so.
I think it's huge. I, for one, am glad to get my ground immunities back. Very honestly,
I'm happy to see Rotom actually be able to be used again.
Yeah, and I think Lando will kind of take a little. It'll calm itself down because now there's a whole bunch more things that are brave enough to appear on people's teams that are immune to ground.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Trick Room reference? Because Brave is a Trick Room nature.
No, I didn't do that.
Oh,
I didn't go that far.
I wish that was intentional.
Yeah.
What are seeing the stuff? I've been playing it a bit. I don't know how much you guys have been practicing. I want to know what you think is like a spicy thing that you want to throw on a team.
Trick Room Hariyama.
Trick Room Hariyama. Good God. What about you?
I don't know if
Thatch,
that's a spicy thing. That's like a gimmicky thing.
Sticky web for sure.
Sticky web.
Sticky web isn't used as much as it should be, and
that's for reasons because and the reason for that is none of the Pokemon that have sticky web are actually that good.
Well, Galvantula is pretty good if you like.
No, it's not because you know what Galvantula does.
No, it's good. It's good, Thatch.
No, it's just not. Like, you're wrong.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
I think Galvantula's good.
There's some cool stuff you can do with Sticky Web I've seen, like Black Q-Rem, Hoopa even, Mega Metacham. Those are all really good with it that I've just kind of been watching. Obviously, Superior and Zygarde loved it as well. They were a glorious pair that would also glare you at the same time.
Yes. I mean, with Zygarde gone, I don't know that I'm too affected in the way that I play. I think it's more that this thing that's somewhat of a nuisance sometimes isn't there. But honestly, Zygarde doesn't really do too much to me other than like the aforementioned Levitate issue with something like Rotom. I'm glad that Rotom kind of just gets to run free again, and because that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, we're gonna go back to Gen 6 OU if we have Rotom, right? It's gonna be great.
I've been seeing whispers of a real spicy Rotom set that isn't defensive. It runs Electrium Z.
I'm excited.
And Thunder.
I'm excited. Ooh. I'm excited for offensive Rotom. I'm not gonna lie.
I've seen an Oko Afini.
Yeah, I'm really excited for offensive Rotom. Rotom sees a lot more play in something like what's it called in VGC, typically, and I mean it's a terror there. I mean, Rotom Heat and Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash maybe not so much anymore, but Rotom Heat's seeing a lot of play recently. And I think that that's something that could be really interesting just in OU to shift something like that over to OU again and just have it back. Oh, because Rotom hasn't gotten the time to shine in Gen 7. Right. And I think giving him something like a Z Crystal set that's pretty standard would be great. Even like a Water EMZ set, though, that one, in my opinion, would probably be pretty boring. I think this is a good place to wrap it up, though. So we'll kill our toothpaste snake discussion here, and we're gonna kick it on over to a quick snippet of something, probably a commercial for T-Public, whatever we decide to put here, and we're gonna go ahead and kick it on over to Puckle's Team Builder.
Hey Puckalonians, it's Sublime Manic. Can't get enough of your favorite flip-flopping podcast? Then check out our social media. You can find links to our Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube all from our website, pucklepodcast.com. And you can join our Discord to hang out with your favorite hosts and other Puckalonians. Also, check us out at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. And if you have an Amazon Prime account, consider subscribing to our Twitch channel. You can also check us out at YouTube at YouTube/PucklePodcast, and we also have a Patreon if you're able to give anything at patreon.com/PucklePodcast.
And welcome to Puckle's Team Builder, where we're going to go over one of Seth's teams, it looks like here. This is definitely a Seth's team, and I'll say why. Because it's got... Okay, you're very aware. So, like, I love that you're just like, man, I really love Charizard. The Charizard X is the new fire. And you were just like, by the way, forget like the rest of the team composition. I'm really in love with Toxapex, Reniculus, Celesteela, and Gliscor because that's called stall, and I can't not play stall.
It's bulky offense. That's
bulky offense. You can call it what you want, but it's garbage. Okay, so let's just break it down real quick so that we can talk about it all the way. So it's Gliscor, Celesteela, Reniculus, Toxapex, Charizard, Mega Charizard X, and Superior. All of them have what I would call their pretty typical sets, and I think the only one that probably needs more clarification is probably Reniculus because it's not an OU Mon. What tier is it in, by the way? Is it in RU right now?
It is in RU at the moment.
Yeah, and it's leftovers. Magic Guard is the ability. Because actually, Reniculus gets several great abilities. And it's Calm Mind, Acid Armor, because you never... bulky offense, huh? Acid Armor? Okay.
Very bulky offense.
I hate you. Recover, Psychic, 252 HP, 212 defense, and 44 speed. What's the 44 speed for? What are you trying to outspeed?
Toxapex before it hazes you.
Okay, fair enough. And yeah, because you'll hit it with a Psychic and it's just going to go down. And so that's good to know. I just want to know because, I mean, you've got a couple other sets here. You've got Gliscor with Earthquake, Roost, Stealth Rock, and Toxic. Actually, a lot of these bulky sets require very specific EV spreads, which we should definitely dive into. So Gliscor here takes Earthquake, Roost, Stealth Rock, Toxic, and it is a 244 HP, probably because that's like all you had left over and you threw it in HP.
No, it's a poison heal number.
Oh, makes sense. Never mind then. 44 defense, is that for a particular calc?
It is for allowing you to survive a Play Rough into a Sucker Punch from Mega Mawile if Toxic Orb has already been activated.
Perfect. And then, of course, you've got 108 special defense, which is probably for...
That's the dump.
That's the dump. There we go.
That's the dump.
And then 112 speed to outspeed what? Because we are also... what's the nature here? This is a jolly nature.
Timid Heatran.
Timid Heatran. Okay, that makes sense.
Nice.
Boom. We're like cruising. This is really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's Gliscor. We know what Gliscor does. It heals up and it's annoying. You're running Earthquake, Roost, Stealth Rock, and Toxic. This is pretty much like bulky Lando. That's what you're doing here. Bulky Lando.
Yep. Kind of, sort of.
Except it heals an eighth of its HP.
It can actually heal
turn.
itself, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's healing Lando. Honestly, I think Gliscor has its merits over Lando, but we can get there later.
Whenever Gen 6 first came out, Gliscor was everywhere.
Oh yeah, Gliscor is pretty big.
Like, I'm looking back on the Cloyster Gliscor meta.
I feel like you're either a Gliscor person or you're a Lando person. And I just feel like there's more Lando people than Gliscor people, probably because Lando's a little bit easier to run because it can do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Landorus because they're more metagamers.
Yeah.
And in some cases, I will say, sometimes it's just flat out better. Like, until I put Superior on this one, Lando would have been better.
Yes, I agree. Okay, and then we have the Celesteela. Celesteela, bulky as ever, and it's pretty much it's such a basic Celesteela set here. Yep. With Leech Seed, Heavy Slam, Flamethrower, Protect, 248 HP because it's probably some kind of lefties number.
Yeah.
Defense at 100 on 100. Is that for a calc or is that the dump?
It's kind of a dump.
Okay.
It's actually an outdated spread now that I check Celesteela's analysis.
You should fix this
slightly because Alakazam's taking off. So
yeah.
Celesteela is kind of a check to it. But that's the old spread that would be kind of the mixed defense of 248 HP, 104 defense, and 156 special defense. But I took one out of defense, put it in speed, just so I could blast another one with Flamethrower before they hit me.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
That was my reasoning.
What if they put 8 speed?
156 special defense, is that for something else?
156 is able to take 2 hidden power fires from Choice Specs Tapu Lele if Stealth Rock is not present.
All right, and then 4 speed. I'm sure that's just outspeed other Celesteela.
Just outspeed other Celesteela, literally.
Yep. All right, and then of course we've got again pretty standard Tox effects: Black Sludge, Regenerator, Scald, Recover, Haze, Toxic Spikes. I guess Toxic Spikes aren't super standard, but
they're great with Reuniclus to hit darks.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then of course we've got that Mega Charizard X, exactly the one we were talking about earlier.
Exactly the one.
Yeah, exactly the one we're talking about because you should run Earthquake because Heatran.
Yep.
I
and
really
Toxapex, quite frankly.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you get 1 D-Dance, you're doing like 75 to Toxapex maybe.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of similar to Heatran, where when Heatran rises, Bulu rises. So now that Celesteela is rising, Toxapex and Celepex, the great core that we all know and love, is also rising. So this eats that for breakfast too.
And then I think, well, this one's not too surprising. This was something that was always there in OU, but I don't think a lot of people utilized. Is Superior. This is a Choice Scarf set. I think Choice Scarf is pretty big, and it's got a couple of moves that I think people would be very wary to throw on a Choice Scarf Mon. Though you've seen more of it float around OU recently, but you've got Leaf Storm, Glare, Defog, and Knockoff. And Glare and Defog are pretty odd ones, but I think Glare's really good in this meta. Just like instant paralysis is just fantastic.
Yeah,
it can cripple some teams.
Community too.
The big one that you want to target with that specifically is Tornadus Therian, because it'll switch into Leaf Storm day in, day out, but you pop it with a surprise Glare.
That thing's
that's
crippled.
Great.
Yep.
And the thing is, you really can't run much else on Scarf Superior. because its only good move is Leaf Storm, because that's the only way it can actually do damage. Because its special attack is base 75, it's not doing much. So the rest of them are utility, really.
I believe that.
Seth, I really must give you commendations. Your teams never fail to sicken me.
You're welcome.
I think Ridiculous is just, it's one of those, we talked about this, but I think it's definitely like a dark horse. I think there's definitely a way to play around it. As long as you don't let it set up.
The dark horse,
but
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Hoopa Unbound exists. Like if we see Ridiculous rise, we're gonna see Hoopa Unbound rise, right? And
apparently not. It's in UU now.
I know. Well, Ridiculous is still in RU, so let's calm down. And I love teams that like utilize like one mon from RU or something like that. I think that's always something that throws your opponent off pretty significantly. Just because your opponent's just like, oh man, I don't know how to handle this, especially in lower tiers. I think when you get to something like 1500 on the ladder, that's where you get some competent people. But if you're playing on lower tiers, yeah, they can play around. But if you get people like something happened to Pokemon in the past like 3 years where I think maybe I got better. I don't know if that's true or not. But you definitely can get from like 1000 to 1400 very easily now. If you just become like a somewhat competent player and you know how to make good predictions and stuff like that. But I don't know. I should run this on stream. I should really run this team on stream and just have some fun with it.
I mean, theoretically, you can get to any ranking on the ladder as long as your win rate is above 50%, even slightly.
That's true. That's really depressing to think about too sometimes. Like if you're always like, man, how like I hope I can beat this person who's like, let's say you're at like 1200, this person's at like 13 or something. You got a really bad matchup on the ladder, and you're just like, man, 1300 is way higher than me. Man, I challenge you next time to type in /rank in their username, and then tell me how many battles they've had, because you can be anywhere on the ladder with like 700 battles and be like 355 and 354, and literally be at like 1300.
Yeah,
because you've played that many battles and you have a slight win ratio. It's just something to think about for all you kids at home. Just play a bajillion matches and you'll get to 17,000 on the ladder
and have fun, really, too.
Yeah, that's really Pokemon, right? It's just having fun. I know we talk about a lot of the technical nitty gritty, but I think that's what this show is for. We have the main show for not technical nitty gritty.
Go run Defog Flygon if you want to. It's great against Heatran, I'll tell you that.
Don't run Flygon. Don't take Seth's advice.
Do it!
As a sort of Puckle shout-out, I saw H3NZ Hens posted a really, really cool set. And like, I'm just going to give the gist of it. It's a fast, normal Lopunny with the ability Klutz, holding an Assault Vest. And because of Klutz, Assault Vest doesn't impact the Lopunny. And you can use Trick against, something like a Tox Apex or Status User or something like that, or like Chansey or something.
I don't know if I'd want that more than I'd want like something like just trick a choice scarf or something. I feel like that
idea is really cool. I
feel like tricking choice scarf on maybe it cripples. It's like a permanent taunt, but it's okay.
It has its merits. I think it's really cool though, and it's kind of highlighting like you can really have fun with random things that you just really want to use. Yeah, maybe you might not, get to 1800 on the ladder with it, but you can still have fun with it. Like, I laugh about Defog Flygon. I tried it last night. It was not terrible, not good, but I had fun with it because it reminded me of hashtag back in Gen 4.
I don't know that I ever... We're going to see like a tiny spike in Flygon usage, by the way. Not because we said this. We're not going to say, not because you said this, but because people are going to be like, man, what else is Ground Dragon?
That learns Dragon Dance.
And it learns Dragon Dance, and we're going to see Flygon. You're going to see Flygon. Like, just a little bit.
Counter.
Garchomp.
It's not good at anything else. And
no, it's not.
If you're going to run a Dragon type, just run Megazord.
Garchomp.
It's pretty good in Draft League.
It is kind of good in Draft League.
It's okay. It's not terrible. But I think that's where we'll end it there, guys. If you want to check out more awesome Puckle Plus stuff, you can check out the rest of this feed. If you want to, you can catch up on the main show where we talk about, regular Pokemon stuff. as well. We do some competitive stuff there, but we really dig into the nitty-gritty here. Of course, you can support the show by going to our Patreon at patreon.com/pucklepodcast. You can also support the show by going to our TeePublic store and getting things such as our cool Lavender Town Gengar shirt. Support me in the Upple League. And yeah, I know, that's pretty exciting, right? We should actually really team build for that. And
have you had your first match yet?
No, it's tomorrow. As of recording.
Good luck.
Yeah, we have to like finalize a roster tonight. And or tomorrow before the match, because the match is until like 9:00. And then of course you can support the show in other ways, just by hanging out. We really appreciate that. Just check out our Discord, follow us on socials, Facebook, Twitter. I guess those are the only ones I care about. So and yeah, you can just check us out. If you wanted to check out the team that we just talked about, you can check it out in the show notes below as well. Below, as if like they can see us and know what's below me. Below me right now is my desk, and there might be show notes there. So be sure to do that. But until next time, guys, I'm Trainer Thatch.
I'm Sakran.
And I'm Seth Milo.
And here in the Battle Royale Dome in Alola, it's closing time.
Closing time.